the actions we're taking now, we have introduced grass margins, 6-metre grass margins around all of the fields. That's to try and benefit partridges and pheasants and ground nesting birds to an extent. We've got species-rich grassland on some of the highest, poorest parts of the farm, on grassland that was underutilised in the past. We've got some wild birdseed growing, 3 patches of that. And we have planted about 2 kilometres of hedges, mixed hedges, not just hawthorn, just to give a little bit of diversity and variety. And I think that's pretty much it.
Yeah, a huge amount.
Yeah. Oh, and some habitat mosaic. There's a rough knolly hill that we've got some habitat mosaic on, and that's alive with colour in the summer with all the flowers and bushes, etc., growing up in there.
If you could explain to others the reasons you've done these things and maybe some of the benefits you've seen, what would you want to say to other farmers?
We went into the schemes on the back of trying to generate an additional income. Farming, it's not all about just generating an income from your main assets, so we didn't just want to arable farm, we wanted to diversify, and to me agri-environment schemes were a diversification means. So it puts a base income into the farm. So for example, a 300-acre farm, I would expect that we could probably typically generate anything between £8,000 and £10,000 a year of income from the various options that we do. So it's not only providing income, but it's also providing a wonderful habitat for wildlife. So we've noticed increases in the number of tree sparrows round about. The partridge numbers are definitely increasing. It's a lot of just a lot of increase in farm birds in general. We've had the RSPB in doing various surveys, and we've noticed the improvement.
We're in the Highlands, just within the Cairngorms National Park Authority, and we've got 150 acres here of a mixture of grassland, woodland, hill ground and bog. So we bought the croft ourselves, and then what we had the challenge of was to build this business accessing the grant system, so accessing the agricultural and forestry grant system. We've done that through accessing a number of grants, including a woodland creation grant to plant 17,500 trees on our hill ground, to use a woodland grant to put fencing around our woodlands to try and protect them and enhance them. We're going into agri-environment hopefully in next year to restore our grasslands. So it's really important to use all of those grants to kind of help build the business that we want to run. And I guess what we want to do by doing that is to try and find another way of farming for the future, which will help to enhance all of these habitats and help to connect industries such as farming and forestry and conservation and bring them all into one small unit to show that we don't all have to exist separately, that we can all work together and that we can all have all these kind of different targets and goals, but that we can achieve them all collectively and deliver that on a little croft like ours, but also how we could roll that out, or how other people could roll that out onto other bigger landscapes.
The intensification thing really didn't suit us very well. Probably I couldn't manage it well, I don't know, but there seemed to be more chemicals flying around and more animals sick, and it didn't seem to work very well. So we eventually went into the opposite direction, which is into organic farming, or ecological farming, and cut the numbers of the sheep, and we had some beef cattle then, which we've cut down. But we're gradually, as we're getting the hang of the organic system, we're finding that we're getting our grassland management a lot better. We're bringing a lot of clovers, white and red clovers, which are boosting production, and we're easing the numbers of cows up from 75 cows, which we had 25, 30 years ago, to the 130 or so that we've got just now. And that's partly on the back of the increasing our productivity through managing the grassland better, but also it's because we're turning over the young stock a lot faster. So that was one thing, and then there was other things like you can see in the fields in the background there's dandelions growing, shock horror, you know, we can't spray them anymore. How are we going to control these dandelions? Initially we were mob stocking with sheep to try and graze them down and graze them out. And then gradually we realised actually they weren't doing any harm. The crops were getting better, and they were adding to the crop mass and probably bringing up a lot of nutrients and micronutrients from the deeper soils, being deep tap-rooted plants. And certainly weren't affecting the cows or the palatability of the silage. So I thought, okay, we'll take that for nothing. Then again, we get things like last year there was we've always had docks on the farm, and last year I was walking through one of the silage fields and I couldn't see a dock in the silage field. I was wondering where the dock's gone. And then I noticed that there was just these veins all over the place, of docking veins, and I'm thinking, what the heck's this? And then closer examination, because you know I don't worry about these things too much, I could see this green beetle and its larvae that were munching away at these docks, and I'm thinking, wow, you know, we used to spray these docks at vast expense, checking the grass because it wasn't good for the grass either, and killing the clovers, and here's nature doing the job for us, you know, and that's basically what ecological farming or organic is about.